I'm ready whenever everyone else is.
That massive crack, like you ran it for the majority of the night. How do you assess it?
Yeah, I mean, that was it. Like, we had a good crack at it, but again, it's kind of the same, like the offensive rebounds, we're able to bring it back, and then they made some big second chance plays. What's that, 16 second chance points? The frustrating thing too is the and ones, and no matter how much we talk about, because you got to depending on what you defend, it's where your priorities lie. Like protect the three, protect the rim. So you got to try and pick your poison somewhere else. And the amount of times where it's just we gave up 7 and ones, and sometimes they're unrealistic. Just let it go. Like in all honesty, just let it go. You made a good play at it. They're very good athletes. JLA is very impressive. Doolittle made some plays. William made some plays. Like, just let them go. So you talk about the 7 and ones. I think we had about 5 shooting fouls. Again, just live with the contest. If they hit a mid-range, and it wasn't until a little bit later when we switched on and we got some stops and we brought it back to 3. But the end ones are just absolute, unnecessary. So it's the offensive rebounds, foul discipline. We gave ourselves a chance, but the reality is a lot of the issues lie on us, and we walk away again with another missed opportunity.
There's been so many times this year where you've been engaged with cautions, and then something's gone wrong, and they've come. Today, every time that something went wrong, and they've got to you found a way to back into it pretty much each time. Is that a significant thing for you to constantly challenge? Even when it got away, you challenged again.
Yeah, the ball sticks. We got good momentum on offense by moving the ball. The ball sticks. We call a timeout. Stop. Go back to what was working, right? And again, even that, you think about that coach's challenge, and this is not the rest were great. So you sit there and go, it's an out of bounds. Schofield gets called for a foul, so we challenge it, and you go to the referee and say, okay, if we're successful, what is it, right? Because it is is it a jump ball? Is it out? And he goes, I don't know, and that's fine, right? So you sit at a timeout and you go, all right, fellas, if we're successful, we're in our press break. If we're unsuccessful, it's based out of bounds. Be aware that it could potentially be a jump ball. And then you come out and you are successful, but they get the base out of bounds. And then there's a moment of confusion, they score out of it. And so again, that's another little momentum shift where that took me a while to get over, because they score out of that. So we're successful, they score out of it. Dumb challenge. Then if you knew that was the result, then you wouldn't challenge it as a coach. You would just sit there and be like, all right, we'll just live with the foul. You assume that he got fouled, the ball went out of bounds, you would be successful and get the ball. But you are successful and they give the ball back, they score 2 points, we make a bad offensive possession, they come down and score again, I burn another timeout, and there's that minute 30. So that was probably more of a reset me than the playing group, right? No, I mean that's growth, but also we've got 4 games left. It's how much growth this should have been happening a month and a half, 2 months ago. But no, credit to the guys that we didn't roll over. It could have been easy to, the end of the second quarter, Perth started to get a little bit of run on again. Dumb fouls. But we held it down. We won the third quarter, I think, by a point. We brought it back to 3. Yeah. Great effort from the guys. They've got a 7-man rotation, and they're playing their hearts out.
That challenge got really significant from the scoreboard perspective.
Yeah.
When you said when you addressed the players, when you do A, B, or C, was D what happened?
No, yeah, that's what.
Did you not have that possibility as an option for them? And is that why that bucket occurred?
Well, because there's a moment where they go, challenge is successful. So you're like, okay, cool, fellas, it may be jump ball or we're in breaker. And again, credit to Travis, I was really upset and he could have teched me and he didn't. Because you sit there and go, man, why even bother challenging it then? We would have just lived with the foul, because you run the risk of it being unsuccessful because they love phantom calls. Don't know. Something for them to review if they do.
Bit on Andrew's game tonight. Last time we were here a few weeks ago, he was hot, shooting 3. I think he had 3 points by half time. But Andrew's been good, so he stepped up and we'll be expecting that first half tonight.
Yeah, again, we're juggling balls, right? And so Drew was great. KG, I thought, had a lot of good looks, that didn't drop in his favour, but the way they were defending KG still has that pop threat, So we wanted to make sure that KG didn't shy away from those looks, and him being aggressive is sort of what opens up that corridor for Drew to really, pick his moment. They're aggressive with Jack off the ball, so they don't really help from those positions. So you can put Jack in one particular corner, you get KG rolling into another. And it sort of opened up that corridor for Drew. And I thought he had a great balance between hitting his mid-range, getting onto the rim, and also shooting the three ball. So, yeah, great game by him.
You don't seem to be struggling to motivate. You're 10 points down at half-time. You're on the road in Perth, 4 games to go, finals gone, and then 5 minutes to go, you're 3 points down. Where's the drive come from? Is play group driving themselves? Is it you working overtime and keeping their heads in the game?
I don't think we've ever had an issue with that. I mean, even last year, and again, we can sit here and make all these excuses on Wardenberg and Alex and Rain and, but, you get to play this game, I know I enjoy getting up for work in the morning, and I enjoy working with these guys, and maybe we feed off each other's energy, but you compete, and it's the closest thing you can get to having that release of, otherwise, you're sort of in a rat race, and you're doing your head in because you need an outlet. This is our outlet, right? And we enjoy it. And Lockie Barker, right? I'll give you an story. Lockie Barker doesn't have a job. He comes in and he's an injury replacement player for us. He gets married in January, and literally the next day, him and his fiance or him and his wife drive to meet us in Bendigo to play. I mean, they put their honeymoon on hold, and why wouldn't you? Because you get to play this game on a weekly basis. And so, no, I don't think motivation's ever been an issue with this group or last year's group, or we got pants the other time by 40 points, and it wasn't through lack of effort. It was ill motivation. It was purely because Jack was a one-man wrecking crew, and we didn't really have anyone else firing. And then I think we're up 16 against Southeast 2 days later, and we lose that game. Then we beat Tassie. Then we're up 20-something against Sydney, and then we lose. There's things that are personnel related and talent and rotations. And again, those guys in the fourth quarter are exhausted. They're exhausted, and you kind of want to make a sub, but every time we sort of did, it was, again, it might swing in your favour, it might swing against us. And so we sort of wanted to roll with those guys. And the reality is that's probably what went from being a 3-point game to a 14-point game, as the guys were cooked. Motivation's not an issue.
Scott Roth said earlier in the year that Christian Doolittle was one of the best players in our league, and it was amazing, especially in that first quarter time. Do you agree with Scott Roth's statement there that Doolittle was the very first time great player?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, he's tough. He's they get him running point at that big size, and he can really pick his moment. He's aggressive defensively. He can switch and defend multiple positions. And then down the other end, right, they just simply ran a middle ball screen, sometimes ran a bit of Spain action. He just gets onto that right hand and does a great job finishing at the rim, all midi. I don't know what his three ball was like tonight. But last time we played him, he was just dribbling into it and drilling it. Oh, it was 4 or 6. Yeah, it was good tonight as well. That was Wags. I saw a SADA. They're going to drug test Wags, I'm sure. You can't get up like that at 40 years of age.
Chris, online.
Yeah, Forde, just a couple quickly. I want to go back to that coach's challenge quickly, and not so much specifically that, but in general, because you're not the first team that it's happened to. Last week, New Zealand, I think it was Brockton, got a steal and was called for a foul, and then Cop challenge, and they win the challenge, but they lose possession. And Tassie score, and they lose the game by 2 points. In general, does it need to be looked at where if you win a coach's challenge, there should never be a situation where you lose possession?
Yeah, I don't know. It's different every time. This was confusing, and again, I actually sympathise with the referees on this one. Is that because I go and I ask the question to James. I'm like, hey James, if it's successful, are we jump on? He's just like, I don't know. And what's going on, money? He goes, I don't know. I'm going to pretend I know a little bit about footy, but I feel like, AFL's got to play the advantage type of situation with the way sometimes the game's officiated. It's frustrating because we made a run. we'll get in it, and then suddenly they score it. And it's happened to us before. I think early on, I don't feel like for the most part, most coaches' challenges haven't been rewarded back to us. We've been called for a phantom call, and then it either results in they get the ball back or a jump ball. Just give us the ball. We had the ball. It was out of bounds.
And hello to Money Mike if he's still there in the room.
He is.
Just lastly, Sunday's game. So D-Mac earlier tonight said that Brisbane's treating this like their playoff game. This is their biggest game now for the rest of the season. They're throwing everything at it, whatever that looks like. Are you treating it similarly, or you wouldn't go that far for Sunday?
Playoff for the bottom spot. There's no regulation. No, look, again, like if you try and put too much emphasis on something, and again, I refer back to the Sydney game. You know, we were up considerably, and then you can subtly see it where the guys start looking up at the scoreboard and they start trying to play to protect the lead, and then Sydney found themselves back in front with like loads of time to spare. You know, we've got to treat this game like we've treated Perth and Sydney and Southeast and everyone else we played. We'll have our preparation rolling in. We've got to be locked into the scout. We've got to be disciplined in our fouling. We've got to make sure we don't get hurt on the rebounds. If we start putting too much weight on any particular games, you know, that's probably going to be counterproductive to us. You know, regardless if we're rolling into Perth Arena or we're playing Brisbane or whoever, you know, we've got to be really playing our game. And for 40 minutes, not for 2.5 minutes, not for half a game, not for the back end of a fourth quarter, but for 40 minutes. That'll be our focus.
No, perfect. Thanks, Forde.
Thank you. Good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.